You already know more than you think. You just don't know how to read the signs yet, because every person leaves clues, and the most common one isn't what they say, it's how they pretend to work. You've seen it. The colleague who types furiously the second the boss walks by. The one who sends emails at 11:58 p.m., though nothing urgent happened that day. The person in the Zoom call who nods intensely while their screen hasn't moved in 12 minutes. They're not working, they're performing work. And today we're going to uncover why, not because they're lazy, but because something deeper is at play. This isn't about productivity, it's about survival. Stay with me, because by the end of this you won't just understand why people pretend to be busy, you'll recognize the moments you've done it too, and what that says about the world we work in. In the modern office, being seen working matters more than actually working. Think about it. You get praised for sending late-night emails, even if the work could have waited. You're trusted more if your calendar is full, even if you're just in meetings about meetings. Silence at your desk? That's suspicious. But frantic typing? That's dedication. We've confused motion with meaning. This illusion didn't happen by accident. It's the result of a system that can't measure real value, so it measures visible effort instead. When output is hard to judge, like strategy, creativity, or emotional labor, companies fall back on the easiest metric. Did you look busy? And people adapt, not because they want to deceive, but because they've learned, if you're not seen working, you're seen as replaceable. So they perform. They open 10 browser tabs. They schedule unnecessary check-ins. They rehearse the appearance of overwhelm. Because in many workplaces, busyness equals sign worth. But here's the quiet tragedy. The more you perform work, the less energy you have for real work. And the more you prove you're indispensable, the more trapped you become in the act. So why do we do this? Even when no one's watching. Because pretending to be busy isn't just about pleasing the boss. It's about soothing our own anxiety. Let's break it down. 1. The fear of being unnecessary. In an age of layoffs and AI, no one wants to be the person whose role doesn't make sense. So we create the illusion of constant demand, because if we're always needed, we can't be cut. 2. The guilt of stillness. Many of us were raised to believe that rest equals sign laziness. So even when we finish our tasks early, we don't relax. We fill the silence with fake urgency, because idleness feels like failure. 3. The social currency of stress. I'm so swamped has become a flex. It signals importance. My time is valuable. My load is heavy. In team chats and coffee breaks, busy is the new successful, and no one wants to be the only one saying, actually, I'm all caught up. 4. The ego shield. Admitting you have free time feels risky. What if someone asks, if you're not busy, why don't you take on this extra project? Pretending to be overwhelmed becomes a defensive strategy, a way to protect your time without saying no. In short, people don't pretend to be busy because they're dishonest. They do it because the system rewards performance over presence, visibility over value, and exhaustion over excellence. And the craziest part, everyone knows it's a performance, but no one dares to stop, because if you're the only one not busy, you become the outlier. This charade has consequences, deeper than burnout. First, it erodes authentic connection. When everyone's performing, no one's real. Conversations become scripts. Crazy week. Tell me about it. But no one asks, are you actually okay? Because if you're honest, you might break the illusion, and then everyone has to face the truth. Second, it distorts leadership. Managers mistake motion for contribution. The employee who looks overwhelmed gets promoted over the one who solves problems quietly. So organizations reward theater and punish efficiency. Third, it creates a prison of perpetual performance. Once you start, it's hard to stop, because if you suddenly seem less busy, people assume you're slacking, not that you've mastered your role. And the ultimate irony, the most productive people often look calm. They've automated, delegated, or eliminated noise. But in a culture that equates stress with success, calm looks like complacency. Fourth, it feeds collective delusion. We've built workplaces where everyone is exhausted, but no one is getting more done. We confuse busyness with progress, and in doing so, we've made performative work the norm, and real work the exception. Imagine a workplace where finishing your work early was celebrated. Silence at your desk meant you were thinking, not slacking, I have bandwidth wasn't a death sentence, but a sign of efficiency. This isn't utopian. It's possible, but only if we stop rewarding the performance and start measuring what matters. So what can you do? 1. Observe without judgment. Next time someone seems too busy, don't assume they're important. Ask, what are they afraid of? Are they scared of looking replaceable? Of being asked to do more? Of being seen as normal? 2. Audit your own performance. When you pretend to be busy, ask, who am I trying to convince? What fear am I avoiding? Is this protecting me or imprisoning me? 3. Redefine value in your circle. Praise people for clarity, not chaos. Thank someone for solving a problem quietly. Celebrate the teammate who says, I finished early, what's next? Be the person who normalizes calm competence. Because the revolution won't come from working harder, it'll come from daring to be seen as efficient, not just exhausted. Pretending to be busy isn't laziness. It's a silent negotiation with a system that doesn't trust you. But here's the truth. No one says out loud, you are not your productivity. Your worth isn't measured in emails sent or hours logged. It's measured in the quality of your mind, the depth of your insight, and the calm you bring to chaos. The next time you catch yourself typing furiously just to look busy, pause, breathe, and ask, who am I performing for? Because the most powerful act in the modern office isn't working harder. It's working honestly, even if that means sitting still and letting the world wonder what you're thinking. And maybe that's exactly when they'll start to see you. If this resonated, if you've ever performed work you didn't need to do, drop a comment below. Tell me, when did you first realize busy wasn't the same as valuable? And if you're ready to see through the masks people wear at work, subscribe, because next week we'll explore why quiet people get promoted faster and the invisible language of office power. Until then, don't just work, be seen for what you truly bring.